I consider myself a dreamer. I've actually been told that. I remember when I was at a previous job, I was talking to a coworker about just whatever, just planning and ideas that we had, and that person just stopped and said, "You are a dreamer." And that was a really impactful thing that someone said to me, because I always thought that there was this thing that was different about me, this thing that was unique about me, but I never was able to articulate it. There was never the words that I was able to kind of put to that feeling. There was no label I could put to just the thing that was inside of me that I felt was just different from a lot of other people. That was really huge, just to hear like, "Hey, Steven, you are a dreamer," because it just allowed me to articulate what I felt was true about me all along. Now, as a dreamer, I think the way that I could kind of describe that is I'm just someone who's really creative, and there's something inside of me, something in my heart that I feel like forces me to see the world differently, to have a little bit of a unique perspective. And then sometimes that can be really exciting and fun, and that can really help me out a lot. And then in other ways, it can feel isolating and difficult. Now, my problem as a dreamer was I was always dreaming and I was never creating anything. I heard this great quote that said, it was on a TED talk about a makerspace, and this guy said, creative people who don't create things are just people with interesting ideas. And I really wasn't that creative of a person. I was really just someone with interesting ideas. And what I would do is I'd have these great ideas, and it would take me to a place, and then I'd have another idea. It was almost like I had idea ADHD, because that idea would take me over here, and then I would move on to a different thing, and I never actually finished anything. I never actually created anything. And there was so much music that was left undone. There was so much writing that was unfinished. And there was just so many plans and ideas that never came into fruition, simply just because I just never finished it. I never did anything. So with creating these videos, and I guess I'm kind of breaking the fourth wall a little bit, I wanted to do something that I was just committed to. I wanted to do something that I was just committed to creating. And instead of wondering like, how is this going to get me to point X, Y, or Z, I just wanted to make something just for the sake of making something. I just basically wanted to turn it into a hobby. And I've been doing this for a couple months, and it's been a really enjoyable experience, and it's become somewhat of an obsession, somewhat of a hobby, but really it's just kind of become this therapeutic experience. We don't have a lot of time in our lives where we get to just kind of sit and reflect on things. In my personal opinion, we're always consuming content. I swear, like, I'll listen to music or listen to podcasts even when I get in the shower. When I get in my car, I start listening to things. When I'm at home, I'm either on YouTube or I'm just taking care of my family and, doing my thing. If I'm making dinner or doing dishes or doing chores, a lot of times I'll pop in music. Like, there's really no time to kind of sit and reflect on things. And when I start making these videos, A, it's a creative outlet, but B, it forces me to just sit down and start talking, which means I'm starting to think about the things that I'm saying. I'm starting to reflect. I'm starting to dig deeper and try to think about just a lot of different things, whether it's saying something creative, whether it's just reflecting and sharing videos like this, or it's just trying to think of ideas of like, what can I do that's creative and what can I say that might connect with people? Because ultimately I do this because I feel like I have something of some value to say, or I have some sort of connection, and I'm decently comfortable on camera, and sometimes people think I'm funny. Like, that's the whole reason why I started making videos. So if you are a dreamer who's someone like me, I don't know if I'm giving you advice because I'm not incredibly successful yet, but I would say just start making the thing, because I think for me, I've learned so much just as I've gone, and I've had this mindset where I feel like I need to have all my ducks in a row in order to move on with that endeavor. Or if I'm going to make that music, I need to make sure, or I need to know and have the security of knowing that people are going to love that music that I make before I even make it. You're never going to get any of that. If I wanted to start making videos, I wanted to make sure that my time and effort would be compensated, not by money necessarily, but maybe compensated by attraction and views. Like, I always thought, why would I spend so much time making something if no one's going to enjoy it? And that was completely the wrong perspective. And the perspective that I have now is just I'm making stuff and hoping people enjoy it. I'm making stuff just for the sake of making it. So if you're a creative person, if there's that thing stirring within you that makes you want to do something else or take some action on something that's just a different endeavor, I would highly, highly suggest you just do it. And what I don't suggest is starting with the mindset of I need to figure everything out before I create something. Just go for it. I literally just started pressing record and talking, and that was my start. And things were great, but I think they're getting better. And I'm using my own stuff as a way to study and reflect and look at what I'm doing and think, how can I make things more enjoyable and interesting for others? So yeah, I'd encourage you, if you have that itch, if you have that thing deep down, go for it. All right? Peace.